Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to be going over the Bitcoin prophecies going to zero. So I'm just going to kind of summarize everything and kind of clarify some things. And I'm also going to discuss a little bit about the Bitcoin buy limit orders. Now, I've been kind of reluctant in making this video, but at least the Patreons and a few other people need to hear this concerning these Bitcoin prophecies to zero, just for additional clarity. And since it's June the 24th, and we do have a prophetic word from Maria about something occurring in July, right? She said to pray about which July, but since we are approaching July, for me, myself, I'm going to take it as that I'm expecting to see something happen this July with Bitcoin going to zero, right? But she did say pray about which July. But I've also been reluctant to share it just because there's a lot of people that don't like this channel. There's a lot of people that don't like what I do. And they don't like some of the people that I put on here, like Christopher Harris, Maria, Johnny Currency 365, Prophet of Solomon. And I've gotten a lot of hate from sharing all these different people. And there's some of these people that are being very hypocritical. They're investing in some of these people, and they're picking one over the other. Or this is what they're doing. They hear a prophecy from somebody they don't like, and then they go to their favorite prophet for a word on that particular prophecy, so that way they can get a clear conscience about investing in that prophecy. And that's exactly what they're doing, and that's exactly what they have been doing. So that's why I'm kind of reluctant, because some of those people do not deserve to hear any of these. But we do have a prophetic word from Kingdom War about some of the people being in the flesh concerning these Bitcoin buy limit orders, and they're not taking it seriously. And that prophetic word, that dream said, is shared that not everybody's going to have their Bitcoin buy limit orders filled. And that was also confirmed by somebody else who had posted a dream on their YouTube channel. And I haven't shared it on the channel yet, but he did say that some people did not get their Bitcoin buy limit orders filled. And so when you put those two dreams together, well, there you go. The number one reason is because people are in the flesh and they only care about themselves and not building the kingdom of God. So some people who don't have very good motives, they can put $1,000 on each platform trying to Bitcoin fish, and they won't get theirs filled at all. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to these Bitcoin prophecies to zero. Now, I don't claim to know everything, folks, and this is my own interpretation. And throughout this whole thing, I'm just like anybody else. I'm learning and I'm growing through research and trial and error. And that's where a lot of people get confused because, I'm giving my own interpretation. And then they blame it on the person who's giving the dream or the vision. All right, so we got a number of different pricing points to zero. We have the 30 to 35K to zero, which we have Christopher Harris and Maria Conwell. 70,000 to zero, Christopher Harris and Maria Conwell. We have the 111,000 to zero, which was given by Christopher Harris. And then from 0 to 10K, then back to zero, which was from Christopher Harris and Maria Conwell. And then we have the July, right? So we might be seeing this in July. Then we have two different reasons why Bitcoin could go to zero. One of them is the XRP decision that goes against Ripple, right? The other one is a major hack to cause a BTC crash. Now that hack does not necessarily mean that somebody's going to go and steal a whole bunch of Bitcoins, right? Unless they turn around and just sell them all off. They hack it and they sell it all off, however way they're going to do that. But some hacks are designed to stop things from moving forward, to put everything on hold. It's like, right, when there's a hack, say, on a power grid, right? What are they trying to do? They're trying to stop the power and trying to cause chaos. So I believe that that's what that hack may have to deal with, because people have gotten hacked before. Millions and millions of dollars of BTC didn't really cause it to crash. So I believe this might be a major hack that's meant to stop maybe Bitcoin in its momentum. All right, so one of the other things that I want to bring up with this is that, we did get pretty close to that 70,000 mark, right? I believe Bitcoin hit 69,000. I'm not sure if that 70,000 is included with that 69,000, because it did get pretty close. So that remains to be seen. And we were in that zone for the 30 to 35,000 is zero. So we could be seeing that take place right now. Since we are getting closer to July. Now, in July, we have two important dates. We have July 13th, which is the inflation numbers that are coming out, And then July 26th and 27th, we have the Federal Reserve meeting, which they are talking about raising the interest rates another 75 to 100 basis points. If they raise it to 100 basis points, that could easily cause a crash. But that's not on the list that we have here. But it could cause it to crash, not necessarily to zero, but you can see a lot of hurt with that. And the other thing that I do want to bring up, now, so I flipped this picture around, and I got the 111,000 here on top, and I just wanted to say this, that if we don't experience a crash to zero, it might be very well that we might go all the way up to 111,000 and then crash to zero. And all these pricing points, the 70,000 to zero and the 30 to 35,000 to zero, could be part of the same overall crash. All right, so that would leave us with two crashes to zero, because it would crash to zero, right, from 111,000 to zero, then to 10K, then back to zero. So that would be two. Right now, if this happens in July, I don't think we're going to expect an XRP decision in July. It's one of the things I do want to clarify as I went back to go look up the timeline according to the information that's about the case. Now, XRP did file for a summary judgment, right? But then there was a timeline with that summary judgment, in which shouldn't come until later on after July. But I don't have any idea, because usually summary judgments are a lot quicker than what we're seeing in this case, right? Or there could be a document leak in the XRP case in July that causes it to fall. They're even talking about the decision won't even come out until 2023. You know, one of the things about this whole thing with XRP and this whole case is very, very strange to me. And the strange thing is that all these countries, the CBDCs, they're all going to be working with mostly XRP. And if they're doing that, I don't understand why they are still allowing this case to move on forward. And they don't either just settle the case, right? Some people talk about a settlement. There could be a leak of a document that details a settlement. Now, nobody has a prophetic word that it's supposed to go down because of what the Federal Reserve does. So that is something we'll just have to wait to see what happens. But we are focused on what's coming up in July. Now, Emmanuel Johnson had a prophecy that he was taken to the future and that Bitcoin went up to over 100,000 in the year 2022, right? So that remains to be seen. And he also saw DJT in office. Now we're in the month of June, right? The end of June, almost going into July. So there's only 5 months left, right? So that's a lot to accomplish in a short period of time, especially with Bitcoin. Right, so you're saying that basically his prophecy is saying we're going to see that within the next 5 months, right? So it's going to at least go to zero at least twice, and there's the potential for it to go to zero 4 times, right? 35K to zero, 70,000 to zero, 111,000 to zero, and then from 0 to 10K back to 0. That would definitely decouple Bitcoin from the rest of the cryptocurrency industry. And I'm expecting that this is going to have to happen at least 2 or 3 times in order for Bitcoin to decouple from the rest of the markets. So we are getting closer to July, folks. And so I just want to make sure that you guys are in position. Okay, so down below in the description will be the Bitcoin phishing buy limit orders. Now this is the thing, folks. I am expecting some type of run before we crash to zero. So that way, for those of you who don't have enough money to spread it among the different platforms, that you will have some additional funds. Right now, I have Bitcoin buy limit orders on everything. Now, we just recently came across, remember, Coinbase. Coinbase Pro is going away, but I'm keeping my Bitcoin buy limit orders on there because we're not that far from July. And if it happens, I want to be able to catch it on Coinbase Pro and on Coinbase. So I've decided that I'm not going to move anything off of Coinbase Pro until that time comes. And you just want to be safe and just put, $50 worth or $20 worth or $10 for each USDC and USDT. That's completely up to you. But I'm going to leave mine on there until I'm forced to move. Now, one of the things is that there are prophecies about Coinbase Pro being hacked. So if you do catch any Bitcoin on Coinbase Pro, well, you either transfer it out of the exchange or transfer it to Coinbase. All right, because I know some people are going to be converting that over into cash and putting some of that into their bank account. So I try to explain everything here. And the other thing is too, Kucoin has recently been banned in Ontario region. So you guys who are in Ontario, you want to look at that. Go to the document and see where you can sign up for any of these platforms, and need to try to find Canadian platforms that you guys can try to set your orders on. So briefly, let me try to go over this again. So I believe that we're more into the 30 to 35 zone, that we could see it go to zero. If it does not go to zero, and we go past the 35K to 40 to 50, then we're going to be looking for the 70,000 to zero. Right? And if we go past 70,000, we go to 80 to the 90, then I'll be looking at the 111,000K to zero, which would mean that these other two pricing points fall under the 111,000. Right? So once it goes to zero, regardless of which point we're at when it goes to zero, there's the back-to-back. So it's going to go from 0 to 10K, then back to zero. So at this point, we're selling off at 10K, and then we're turning around and setting up our Bitcoin buy limit orders again in anticipation of it going back to zero. And this isn't Maria Conwell's. The Lord showed me an immediate drop in July from 10K to zero, and then right back up to 10K. All right, so we're looking for that. And Christopher Harris said the same thing, but he didn't give a date. And he also gave specific instructions to invest into XRP and a few other coins. And we have two reasons why Bitcoin could go to zero so far. So folks, and this is why we just take it day by day, and I'm not trying to chase all these different prophecies anymore so much, because for a lot of people it's been headaches, and not everybody has the finances to do it. So that's why I give out the prophetic list, so that way you guys, when you are in position and we see these things taking place, right? Like when it goes to zero and then up to 10K, and let's say you have 100 or 200 or 500 Bitcoin, it's going to be nothing for you to take out money and put it into each one of these. If you wanted to, easily put enough money into the top 10 or 20 coins. And there is one more point that I do want to make about that. If what she's saying is going to come to pass, right, and she's not saying it's happening this July, but I'm speculating that it's going to happen this July, then that means that we have to figure out when to sell in the month of July. And I'm talking about all the other coins that we're in. I'm talking about like Shiba Inu, XLM, all those other coins that we've invested in, because if Bitcoin is going to go to zero, that means everything else is going to be crashing. We should make a lot of money from all the other altcoins that we're in, which will allow you, of course, for one, set up a lot more Bitcoin buy limit orders. But you should already be in a good position, which means that whatever coins you have now and you sell off and you make a whole bunch of money, right? And then you'll be able to set up the rest of your Bitcoin buy limit orders or set up more orders. Then you also might be able to set up some low orders for some of these altcoins. But when it does crash to zero and goes up to 10K, right, a lot of these coins are going to be super, super cheap, right? And all the money that you should earn you should easily be able to put $1,000 into each one of these, right? Because that's how much money you should have if you hit the sell button. Because folks, you don't want to be holding a lot of this cryptocurrency when it does go to zero, right? You might see some of these cryptos that you're in. You might see, oh wow, I have 200,000 of this, and you hold on to it and you don't sell it, and then everything ends up crashing to zero. And now that 200,000 is 1,000 or $500, right? We don't want that to happen. And I want you guys to, when you see something life-changing, sell it. Okay, especially if you have multiple investments in crypto, sell it. So hopefully I've explained this to you. So for those of you on the Patreon, if I did not make myself clear, please let me know, and I'll re-record another video with your questions. But I just wanted to make sure that, to the best of my ability, that I could share this information with you and that we can prepare ourselves, right, and put ourselves in the position, because we could be very, very close to this wealth transfer happening literally within weeks. So folks, I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.